So we have sponsored kids. One of the things that we do is we have a sponsored kid program. And currently at FCW we have around 500 kids, and about 250 of those kids are in Uganda. And so when we started this child sponsorship in Uganda, the kids were 5, 6, 7, which I think a lot of orphan care ministries started around those ages. Well, what happens is these kids can continue to get older, and so we want to come alongside and say, okay, how do we advance them into their adulthood well? Because you can feed a kid and give them an education for 18 years, but they could still fall into the hands of traffickers after that time frame. And so we're trying to figure out, okay, what is the best way to bring these kids and transfer them into adulthood to protect them long term? And so we started this new flagship ministry. It's called Kipindi Mpito, and that's Swahili for transition period. And so what we're doing is we're taking girls specifically right now because they're the most vulnerable, and bringing them through a one-year term program. And what we're doing during that 1 year, we're teaching them life skills, such as how to manage your money, hygiene, cleaning, cooking, but we're also teaching them a trade. And so what happens is they might get out of this program, but if they don't, or they might get out of like a sponsorship program and not have a skill, and so it makes it harder for them to be employed. And so what they do is they fall back into, they might get married at an early age, or they become pregnant, and they fall back into the whole poverty cycle. And so we want to take them and transition them well by giving them a skill. And so we actually have a tailoring program going on. And so they can actually, when they leave our program, they can take a test with Uganda, it's called DIT, and they can get an actual certificate when they leave our program, if they pass the test, to be able to take that and go get employment somewhere. So it's something tangible that they have, that they've passed the certification class. And so it's approved by the Ugandan government. It's a big deal. And we just had 12 girls take the test. We don't have the results yet to kind of see how they did. But they did take the test, and we're excited because it sounds like they did well. Mm-hmm. And then they can then go on and get an employment. The other option is we're starting a small business within that. So then they can make bags, and then we'll be able to sell these bags to the community, to schools, to be able to bring income back into the organization. And so there's actually 2 girls that are going to be working for this small business now that they have graduated the first year program. So during that year program, why do we choose a year? Well, it was because in Uganda there's something you call a gap year. And so when they're about 16 years old, 17 years old, they get a year off of school. It's pretty common in Europe and other countries. And so the problem with that gap year is that's the time where kids can go and essentially get in trouble. I think kids in the U.S. at 16 years old, if they had a whole year off not doing anything, I could see them getting in trouble. So they could maybe get married at an early age. They could get pregnant. They could alcohol, you name it, they could get into trouble because their caretaker or their parents are not home either, and so they're going out and getting in trouble. So we wanted to bring them in for that year, so it's not a year of just devastation to their life. We want it to be a year that transforms their life and continues to work through that. They also, a lot of these kids have a lot of trauma. We've done research, and about 90% of the Ugandan girls have been sexually abused. And so there's a lot of trauma that goes along with that. So part of the program is also some counseling to bring them into a chaos-free area and give them some of that counseling. We want to be able to be a place where they can feel safe, where they can also learn the love of Jesus and know that their Heavenly Father's crazy about them. And so we're also doing discipleship every single day throughout that program as well.